Welcome to Family Lifestyles. I'm Janey Cline, Hart County's Family and Consumer Sciences Agent, and I have with me today Julia Wilson, Edmonson County's Family and Consumer Sciences Agent. And she has some great tips today about packing your lunch. It's the end of summer.
Yes.
Our children are going back to school, our college students are going back to campus, and we're going back to work. Well, we actually have been working the whole time,
Yes.
but still, there's a lot, life's slowing down. So sometimes maybe we could pack our lunch versus going out to eat. And you have some great containers to take your lunch in.
Yes. So, like you said, it's in the summer. Kids have been in school for a little bit. College kids are going back. And, and if you work for a school system, you're just now going back to work too. So, maybe kids are tired of school lunch. So kind of think about, why are you packing a school lunch for your kids? Are they tired of school lunch? They're ready to pack something from home. Are you doing it to save money, maybe for your kids or yourself? Are you doing it, is it a convenience thing? Is it too far to go get something to eat at work? So think about why you're packing lunch. Are you trying to watch what you eat? Are you trying to eat healthier? Or maybe
the holidays are coming.
The holidays are coming. Or maybe even food allergies. I've heard about parents packing their kids' lunch because of food allergies. And it's just easier to make sure you send them something they can eat rather than get to school and go, well, I don't know if I can eat this or not. So think about why you're packing lunch. Again, that convenience factor. How much time do you have to pack lunch? Do you have time in the morning to, get everyone's lunch together, get it packed and get them out the door? Or do you need on the Sunday night kind of get everything ready and laid out so every morning it's really quick and easy to grab? So
that would be so convenient.
So think about, your time factor there. Do you have time to put everything into containers, or do you need to buy pre-portioned containers? That's something else to consider. So we're talking about packing lunch. You can buy things to make packing lunch easier, or you could probably use what you have at home. So there's a variation here. So first we're going to talk about, you need to think about food safety first. So your lunch boxes. Most kids don't have access to a refrigerator at school. So you need an insulated lunch box along with ice packs to keep cold foods cold.
And just because it's in the insulated lunch boxes doesn't mean that it's going to stay cold, especially like a sandwich meat or
yes, so
something
you want to
like
make sure to use an ice pack in those lunch boxes. Now you can buy ice packs, or say you're going to send a bottle of water to drink, or some kind of drink. You can freeze that, get a little water out first so it doesn't bust, but you freeze that bottle of water the night before, put it in their lunch box the next day. That's going to act like their ice pack, and they're going to have something cold to drink.
And they also can just throw that away after they're finished.
That's
and
right.
They don't have to worry about bringing the ice pack home.
So, and then think about, what time does your child eat lunch? It can vary anywhere from 10:30 in the morning to 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So how long do those items need to stay cold or even stay hot? This winter, kids may want to take soup, or maybe they love chili. You can buy some things like this, insulated, that keeps hot foods hot, but it's not going to keep them hot and at that safe temperature all day long.
Right.
So you need to think about what time they're going to be eating, and this has a nice little divider you can put different things in. But you can buy, especially those thermoses, keep hot things hot. But again, food safety, how long is it going to be in there?
I thought this was neat because it was vacuum sealed.
Yes, it kind of vacuum seals itself, and then kind of keeps that temperature in. So that's great. So, that's stainless steel. That's something that kids could take to school. And something else to consider, microwaving. Some schools do have a microwave in the cafeteria for the kids to use. Some smaller schools I've worked in, the kids can heat up their lunch if they want to. Obviously, sometimes your larger schools, there's too many kids, they can't do that. So find out, do your kids have access to a refrigerator, and do they have access to a microwave?
And if they have access to a microwave, you would probably need to go over the steps to using the microwave.
Yes, and that would probably be older children,
right.
Your older grades would use that, but that would be great. Then they can warm up their lunch if they want to. So, we want to make sure we have some kind of lunch box, something to keep our foods cold. Again, food safety is very important. You don't want to just throw a ham sandwich in a lunch box and expect it to be necessarily safe come lunchtime.
I can remember back in the day when we just had those metal lunch boxes that, Looney Tunes or whatever. Yes. I would say that food wasn't too safe when we opened it up at lunch.
Yes, and also remember, when your kids come home, anything they've not eaten, You're not sure, did it stay cold? Did it get those dangerous temperature zones? So if in doubt, throw it out. So if you see every day they've got lots left over, maybe pack them smaller portions. Honestly, a portion for a 4-year-old preschooler is going to be a little bit different than your 18-year-old quarterback. They're going to eat a little bit different portions. So look at your child's age and see what kind of portions they need. Now, a great resource for that is myplate.gov. You can actually go online there and look at what considers of a portion of fruit, of vegetables, of protein, of dairy. So that's a great resource to go check out, or you can contact your local cooperative extension and they can kind of help you determine what is a serving size. Here, we're really bad about serving too much food. Serving sizes aren't actually as large as we think they are. So this is a great source to learn what those serving sizes actually are.
We have a lot of great classes that you can take part in at the extension office to teach you a lot about a lot of this stuff, food safety and the portion sizes and all that.
Yes.
And we would love for you to come by and take a class.
We would. So when you're packing a kid's lunch, first obviously you have to go buy some groceries. And maybe you need to maybe they need a lunchbox, or maybe you need some containers to send them lunch. But think about My Plate. You want to cover all these sections if you can. Your dairy, your grains, your protein, your vegetables, and your fruit. So, these are great little magnets. Stick it up on your fridge while you're packing lunch, and you kind of have something to remind you.
And the color. Getting all those colors in there makes it more appetizing for the child to eat.
Yes.
If you just put something on there that's just all bland, they're probably not going to eat it.
And kids actually have, really kind of advanced palates, but we're so used to they'll just eat a hot dog or they'll just eat a hamburger.
Right.
Actually, if we offer them new foods, they're more likely to try it.
And the younger we start that, the more likely they are to try it. That is right.
So obviously, look at My Plate. Kind of start making your grocery list. Get your kids to help make your grocery list. What do you want to take to school for lunch? Or if you're making it for yourself, what do I want to take for lunch? So kind of plan out ahead of time what you want to take. So, I was talking about different containers. You have your typical just plastic containers that you can use. Bento boxes are a popular thing, but those can be a little more expensive. There's little individual compartments, so it makes it easier to kind of put your serving sizes and keep things apart. Kind of makes it creative and colorful. But if you don't want to buy one of those necessarily, use cupcake liners in your plastic containers. It kind of
I noticed you have colorful cupcake liners.
I do have colorful cupcake liners. So, make it attractive for kids. If you went to a restaurant and your food was bland and didn't look nice, you may be hungry and you may still eat it, but if it looks great on your plate, you're more likely to eat it.
Right.
So, I was talking about, cupcake liners are a great way. And then maybe you're packing lunch for yourself and you want to watch your portions. Some of these containers have measurements already for you.
That is the coolest thing ever. I just saw that right before we went on the air.
Yes, so this actually, this is 2 cups, cup and a half, and 1 cup. So it's already measured out your portions for you. So that's great if you're trying to watch your portions, and then this stores up really well and easy. So there are so many different, containers out there to help you pack your lunch. But again, you don't have to have anything like that. If you don't want to buy it, you can use something as simple as some plastic bags and some foil to wrap up your food. You don't have to go buy all those containers, but those containers do make it a little handier, especially if you're going to be packing up on Sunday night for the rest of the week.
Right.
So
I think they would keep it a little fresher.
Yes. So all right. So those, talking about all our different containers that we need.
Well, Julia, you have shared some excellent ideas with us, and I can't wait to hear more of the ideas you have for packing up your lunch and eating the healthy way at school, at work, at college. I just hope you stay with us, and we'll be back in just a few minutes.
Another summer day has come and gone away from Paris or Rome, but I wanna go home. Maybe surrounded by a million people, I still feel all alone. Just wanna go home. Oh, I miss you, Let me go home. I've had my run, baby, I'm done. I gotta go home. It'll all be alright. I'll be home tonight. I'm coming back home.
Welcome back to Family Lifestyles. I'm Janey Cline, Family Consumer Science Agent for Hart County, and I have with me Julia Wilson. She's here sharing with us some great ideas on packing our lunch. We talked about containers before.
Yes.
But I think now you're going to share with some ideas of what we're going to put in those containers.
Yes. So we talked about, following my plate. You want to cover all those food areas, your fruits, your grains, vegetables, protein, dairy. Now, everyone's like, well, what about something sweet? You can send something, a little sweet treat for your kids, but you want to focus on these areas first. So,
Right.
everyone, typical lunch idea, sandwich, chips, a drink, maybe a cookie or something. But if you send that every day, your child's going to get bored.
It's boring.
You
Or
would
if
get
we're packing it for lunch,
Yes.
think it's boring.
We would get bored very quickly. So we want to have colorful lunches that are different and that, we don't see it and go, oh, I'll just go get something to eat. So first idea, ham and cheese sandwich is great, but, use whole wheat bread or, whole grain bread, something like that. You're just white bread, it's okay, but we want to try to replace our grains with whole grains. So use whole grain, but, make it a little more exciting for your kids. Use some kind of cookie cutter to cut out a fun shape. So here, I actually used a snowflake cookie cutter. Cute little shape. That's a little more nice looking.
It's so much more appealing than just a
Yes.
square.
Yeah, and I could put some lettuce on there, maybe some tomato, anything else, add a little more veggie to it. So then we have some carrot sticks, but we have them in that nice little cupcake, so it makes it
To make that color, make
to
it
make
pretty.
that color. And actually, these cupcake liners are great because for kids, that's about a serving. So these cupcake liners
So a
are
great way to measure.
So, and then obviously something to dip those carrots in. Ranch is very popular. And you see, here's a little plastic container. These are reusable containers. Now, this would need to stay refrigerated. So, but it's something great. I can buy my big bulk containers of dressing.
Right.
And just refill these each time. Or you can actually buy individual containers that they could open once, use it, throw it away. So that's a convenience factor again. Do you have time to kind of fill up little dressing containers, or is it easier to buy the pre-made ones that they just toss?
Right.
Cost is going to be a factor, but again, your time, how much time do you have?
Right. I'm sure someone out there is wondering, why do we have to refrigerate it after we open it? I mean, we have the containers out there, they're sealed, and then your bottle is sealed, but once you break that seal, it then becomes unsafe to
Yes.
not refrigerate.
Once you break that seal is when it needs to be refrigerated, just like canned foods.
Yes.
Once you open them, they need to be refrigerated. So once you open those bottles, they need to go in the refrigerator.
Right.
But those little individual servings of ranch, those are fine to open up, eat, but then throw away,
Right.
when you're done.
You would not want to bring those home and send them back the next day.
No. So again, so we have our sandwich, we have our grain here, we have protein, we have dairy, we have vegetable, and then we have some fruit over here. We have some raspberries and grapes.
What a great mixture.
Very colorful. Now, if you have younger kids, you'd want to slice those grapes up.
I think you've prepared them
slice
in this
them there.
container.
So you'd want to slice those grapes up. So you want your kids to eat it, but again, keep in mind, maybe those younger kids slice up that grape or something
We
else.
sure wouldn't want one to get choked.
So then that's one idea. And then we have over here, as you picked up, we just have some lunch meat. They don't necessarily have to have a sandwich. You can just eat lunch meat. We have some cheese, some pretzels, some strawberries, and grapes. Again, we have our little cupcake liners to individualize our portions. Now, great idea about cheese. If you look when you're buying at the store, all your cheeses, your cheese blocks, your cheese cubes, your shredded cheese, it's all, has a price, but if you look at the per ounce cost, your block cheese is going to be cheaper per ounce. So buy your block cheese. Again, this is a convenience and time factor. You can actually slice it up in little blocks or shred it up yourself at home if you want to save a little money.
I was in a local dollars, like Mart, like that you just buy for $1. Everything's $1, and I found one of those cheese slicers, that you could just barely shave it
Yes.
off, and I think that would be fun for the children.
So,
to have.
that's a great way to save, saves a little bit of money if you have a little time. Slice up those cubes yourself. My little girl loves, certain cartoon characters, and some of those bags at the store have those characters on them.
Yes.
And, I'll eat that cheese, Mama, because it has that character. I'll buy the bag once and then just keep refilling it, from
cute idea.
blocks.
Yeah.
And so she thinks she's eating that special cheese, and I'm just refilling the bag every time. because, there is a cost difference there, and when you're trying to save money, that can make a difference. So then other ideas. You can be out of the box a little bit with lunch ideas. So here again, we was talking about little containers. This is where these containers come in handy.
Yeah, that is so nifty.
So obviously these are reusable. You can wash them. You buy them once, you'll get use out of them all school year long. So we have some hummus here in this little container. So our hummus is in the little top. And then we have some pretzels here.
You can buy these containers like in a bulk, but they don't have this little tray in them. So that must be in a different department?
No, it came with them, yes. Sometimes it comes with them, sometimes it doesn't.
Okay,
so just kind of watch, what you're buying.
Okay.
So, hummus is a good source of protein. So, that's a good source. And so, it's also made from chickpeas, so vegetable, kind of. So, but protein, that's what you want to focus on. It's good protein for during the school day. So we have our hummus, we have some grain or good pretzels. Those are baked so they're not high in fat like your chips would be. So there's, a little snack. And then you can maybe pair it with, some cheese, some fruit. It doesn't have to be a big lunch. It can kind of be little snacky foods that the kids can eat on while they're talking to their friends. Hummus is also great to dip those carrots in or those celery sticks or even or even sweet bell pepper slices.
Now, does it need to be refrigerated once we open it?
It would need to be refrigerated. You can buy a big container of hummus and then kind of put it in portions like this, or you again can buy the little individual portions of hummus. Again, that's the time factor. Do you have time to kind of measure out a serving, or it would be easier to throw something in a lunchbox? So again, maybe your older kids or yourself, salads are good. So maybe you don't have time to chop up a whole salad. You can buy pre-mixed salad bags. There may be 2 to 4 servings in them. Have maybe a little bowl, put it in there. And nice thing about this, it comes with its own fork.
Yes.
So then you're not trying to hunt one down. And again, these little handy dressing bottles. And there's your lunch. Now, say you had rotisserie chicken last night for supper. You could bring a little bit of shredded chicken, put it on your salad. There's a great lunch. So, kind of think outside the box,
Buying a rotisserie chicken at the first of the week would be great because you could put it in your salad, and then you could also, I think you have a tortilla shell over there.
So, again, reusing maybe leftovers from the night before. So, tortilla shell, whole wheat tortilla shell, wrap it up and fold. The kids can unwrap that when they get to school. So then they kind of have a little tray they can work on. They can put their chicken in there. They could put their cheese. So, we have some shredded cheese here. Maybe some salsa. Put your sauce on there. Maybe even some guacamole. And you can buy little individual cups of guacamole. So they could put that on there, roll it up. There's their burrito for lunch.
And it would be a great lunch for a child.
Yes. And kids love
that we're kind of a picky eater.
Yeah, and kids love those pre-made lunches where they get to put stuff together, and so that's a good way.
Makes it feel like they're cooking in the kitchen.
Makes it feel like they're cooking. So that's a great way to kind of incorporate that fun, but into something a little healthier. So breakfast. If your kid wants to take some kind of breakfast food for lunch, that's fine. It's still nutritious and healthy. So again, you don't necessarily have to buy special containers, but this little container makes it very easy. So I have measured out yogurt again. Buy a big container of yogurt, measure it out. You could buy cups of yogurt if you wanted to. But, this yogurt's measured out, the top comes off, and I can put some granola in there, and then I have some fresh fruit in there. So, and then that
looks delicious too. I'm hungry.
So that's real easy to just pop down in their lunchbox. Maybe have a couple of these ready in the fridge for them to grab every single morning. So those are just some different ideas, and I think we'll come back in a minute, and we'll talk more about some different ways to pack your lunches. So.
Okay, well, I look forward to hearing about that. Thank you so much for joining us, and be sure to stay with us as Miss Julia tells us a lot about preparing our lunch and taking it with us.
If we want to improve America's healthcare system, let's start by improving the health of Americans. Despite the best doctors, hospitals, and medical advancements, Americans are not as healthy as they should be. We spend too much on treatment and not enough on wellness and prevention. We need a system based on primary care. When patients have a medical home and a long-term relationship with a doctor, the result is a longer, healthier life and reduced medical costs for everyone. Let's make America a place where health is primary.
Welcome back to Family Lifestyles. I'm Janey Cline, Family and Consumer Sciences Agent for Hart County, and I have with me Julia Wilson, Edmonson County's Family and Consumer Sciences Agent. And she has shared some wonderful ideas today of how we can pack our lunch, the containers. And I think for a minute we want to talk about breakfast because we're all in a hurry to get out the door. So,
yeah. And Even if they don't eat it for breakfast, if they want to eat breakfast food for lunch, that's fine. That's still healthy and nutritious. So we were talking about the yogurt, how you could buy yogurt cups, or you could buy bulk yogurt and put it in its own containers. So yogurt's great. You can add fruit. You can add granola. That's a great way to get those different food groups. But then another breakfast food that's really easy to do can be eggs. Hard boil some eggs, maybe on Sunday night, put them in the refrigerator in a container, then they're really easy to grab out and throw in that lunch.
And they have great protein value.
Yes.
And some diets actually they're free.
Yeah. So eggs are great. That's easy. Boil them, have them in the fridge for all week. You can put them with a salad. You could. Some people make a little bit of an egg salad up, maybe eat on some crackers or with some pretzels. So eggs are another great thing to have in the fridge. Fruit. And quick. Fruit's another thing kids love. If you don't want to do fresh fruit, you could do canned fruit. You can buy little containers of fruit cups. They're servings you throw in the lunchbox. They're shelf stable. But always make sure they're in 100% juice. If they're in syrup, usually they have more calories and more sugar. Now, if you don't want to spend the money on the fruit cups, buy canned fruit and measure them out into little containers each day.
One thing you might think about with these containers like this, sometimes the children have a hard time getting these open.
Yes.
And so they may sit there for a while before someone actually sees that they can't get it open and come help. So having a container that they can easily open is very important as well.
Yeah. And then something about, if your kids like pineapple, buy the chunk pineapple, use the juice then. If you slice up your apple, what happens usually? If you slice it up, it turns brown. No one wants a brown apple. You can use lemon juice, but sometimes kids are like, oh, it's going to taste like lemon. Dip the apple in the pineapple juice.
Oh, great tip.
And that will keep the apple from browning, and then the kids will eat it. Because if I just sent an apple, kids may or may not eat it. But if you send it sliced up, they're more likely to eat it because it's ready for them to go.
Well, it's just easier for them. Some of them are losing teeth and
yes.
they just can't eat a whole apple like that.
So then, apple, and you can buy these little individual cups of caramel. Or you could buy, a jar and put it out, measure it out yourself. But, that's a little sweet treat to dip their apple in. Fall's coming, so, caramel apples are a big thing. But, that's a sweet treat, not a lot of sugar and added calories, but still something the kids love. Another thing, little cups of peanut butter. You can buy little individual servings of peanut butter. Those are great and easy to throw in lunch. Great to dip apples in, or even celery sticks. But again, this is kind of a convenience thing. Much quicker to grab this and throw it in the lunchbox in the morning. But if you have a little time, buy your big jar, measure out a serving in a container.
Save you a lot of money in the long run.
Save you a lot of money in the long run. But if you're kind of trying to balance time and money, you can kind of decide what's easier to buy prepackaged and what's not. So talking about pre-packaging, if you have stuff already in your fridge ready to go, you can kind of teach your kids, go pack your own lunch. What do you want to take to school today? So buy, a bag of baby carrots, measure out portions. Now again, just those little plastic bags are fine. Measure out portions, have them in the fridge ready to go. Have your eggs already in a bag. So the kids can go, well, I want this, this, and this today. And they throw it in their lunchbox. Teach them, my plate. Grab something with protein, grab a vegetable, grab a fruit. And same with a bag of pretzels. Don't just buy a big bag of pretzels and put it up in the cabinet, where they have to go get it and measure it out. When you get home with it, measure it all out into bags, put those up in the cabinet. Much easier to grab those out.
And it will keep them from overeating as well, because if they just keep going back into that same bag, they're just going to keep getting more and more and more, where if it's measured out, they're probably just going to eat the portion size.
And I've even seen some families take, the overhead or over-the-door shoe holders, and they put, your shelf-stable items like your pretzels or maybe
cute
your
idea.
Peanut butter, one in each slot where you'd put a shoe, and then the kids know, well, everything in this slot is, kind of for lunch. Grab everything out of there.
That is a cute idea.
So there are different ideas to organize. So maybe as the kids get older, they can kind of pack their own lunch if you've already done some of the work for them. So talking about drinks, milk's always great. Milk's at school usually, or you could send milk, just keep it refrigerated. Or flavored water is great. Add some fruit. The kids will love that. And again, there's some of those delicious blackberries we were talking about, like maybe last week. But flavored water's great for them. And then, of course, they can always refill their bottles at school. So water is great. We want to avoid a lot of sodas because those can add a lot of calories and sugar to our diets.
A whole lot more than we really actually realize.
Yes. So some other ideas, you can buy canned chicken. Have canned chicken ready to go. This can be easily made into a little bit of chicken salad on the run, or just, eat it with crackers or pretzels or cheese. Great. You can even buy packets of flavored tuna or even flavored chicken, little individual serving packets, easy to throw in the lunchbox.
And those are delicious.
Those are good.
I eat those a lot for lunch.
So those are a great source of protein for kids. And, again, I
think they have the salmon as well, don't they?
They have salmon, they have tuna, they have chicken packets. And so grab those. They're done flavored up.
And those might be a little easier for them to open than the can.
So again, think about your child's age. Can they open stuff easy? Can they pack their own lunch? So consider your child's ages when it comes to packing lunches. So as they get a little older, they can pack a little more. Different ideas for protein. Nuts. Again, I have a 4-year-old. Oh, here they are. I have a 4-year-old. Pistachios are her favorite snack.
Really? That's unusual.
She loves them. Now, she has a little trouble cracking them open sometimes. So maybe if I was going to pack this for her, I would go ahead and shell them out for her.
Right.
But she absolutely loves these. So if she doesn't want to eat any meat during the day, if this is in her lunchbox for snack, she's going to eat these.
Trying different things with children is so important.
Yes.
A lot of times we think, oh, my child won't eat that. And in reality, they actually will a lot of times.
And that's so true. I taught a class this past summer making salsa. The kids are like, oh, I don't like peppers, bell peppers. Got them to start trying one. They ate more peppers than they sliced up for their salsa because they discovered they loved them so much. And so now they want to take them in their lunch and, with a little bit of ranch or hummus to dip them in. So let your kids try new foods. Not many people would think a 4-year-old would, snack down on pistachios and cheese.
That's an unusual one to me, but yeah.
So, again, you have your fresh fruits. Keep fruits on hand: grapes, apples, bananas, raspberries, blackberries, strawberries.
That's something that doesn't have to be refrigerated. So
yes.
If you have your lunchbox is full that has your ice pack in it, a fruit is great to add on to that.
Yes. So get your kids involved. Ask them, what do you want to take to lunch? Get them to go to the store with you. Get them to kind of sit down and help measure this stuff out. They'll think it's exciting to do. Now,
I liked your idea on the bananas.
Yes. So obviously kids love little surprises and little treats. So maybe put a note in the lunchbox, have a good day. Maybe put some little toy in there, something kind of brighten their day when they open that lunchbox. Bananas, if you take a toothpick and write a message in them, it will darken by the time lunch comes around. So this banana says, have a good day.
That is so cute. And would brighten anyone's day.
Yes. Obviously, little ones can't necessarily read yet, but your older ones, they would see that and probably smile.
Yeah.
And of course, then banana may be great
You
with
can maybe
peanut butter.
draw a smiley face on it.
Yes, draw a smiley face for them.
You've had some great tips for us today. And we have a lot more at the Extension office. If you'll just drop by your local Extension office, we have recipes. I think we actually have a pub on packing your lunch.
Yes, there are pubs on packing lunch. So
yes, so if you'll stop by, and we would be glad to share some of these ideas with you. And thank you so much for coming today, and thank you so much for joining us. And have a great day.